Hello, 10th and 11th graders. This week we are going to be studying the chapter on pronoun case. For 10th graders, it's chapter 8. For 11th graders, it's chapter 9. The vast majority of information in this chapter is the same for both grades. So, yes, I'm utilizing the same lectures for both. If there is anything extra that is important for 11th graders that is not for 10th graders, I will be sure to state that in a given lecture and then denote an extra slide for anything extra for the 11th graders, okay? Today everything is the same. Good news, this is the second to last chapter and second to last week of work and information that you have for the school year before you either become a junior or a senior. Praise God. I have enjoyed teaching each and every one of you this year and look forward to hopefully having each of you back next year. All right, down to work. First slide here. This section, we're talking about the different cases and general rules for how they function. So, subjective / nominative, and the reason I put it that way is because this case is most often called subjective, but it is interchangeably also sometimes called nominative case. So either way, it's the same thing. Subjective or nominative case is used for subjects and predicate nouns in sentences, okay? The caller was I is our example, all right? Not the caller was me, the caller was I. I is in your predicate noun space there, and therefore we do use I and not me. Please do note that if any of these you're going to have an issue with, subject, predicate, noun, IO, DO, OP, if you're going to have any trouble with which word do I use in a given position, it will be, as we have stated in the past, in the predicate noun space. All the other positions that I just stated, subject, direct object, indirect object, object of prep, usually all of those, if you use them correctly, they're going to sound right, and they are right, okay? Unfortunately, in the English language, we have become quite informal with our predicate noun position in our sentences and have very, very often replaced what should be a subjective case pronoun like I or he or she or it or they with an objective case pronoun. So many people might say the caller was me, or the caller was him or her or them. Well, and then it would have to be the callers were them, right? But just remember, if it sounds right to you in the predicate noun spot, it may well be wrong. Okay, you do need subjective case pronouns formally for predicate noun spots. All right, next slide. Objective case is used for direct objects, indirect objects, and objects of preposition. Okay, and I've got two examples here for you. One is an IO and one is an OP. Jade asked us a question. Okay, and this one's going to, again, sound wrong. If it is wrong, you would not say Jade asked we. You would say Jade asked us. Us is objective case, and in this sentence, us is your indirect object. Okay? All right, and then the next one, the question was asked of us. Here, us is your object of preposition, and us is, again, in objective case. You would not say asked of we. You would say asked of us. We doesn't sound right there anyway. All right, next slide. Possessive case pronouns show ownership. All right, we do have two different uses for possessive case pronouns. Most of them, most of the time, act as adjectives that describe nouns. They'll come before an adjective usually and describe that noun. Or, excuse me, before a noun. Most of these will come before a noun and describe that noun and function as an adjective. Okay? Here's an example. Her opinion is valuable. Okay? Her comes before the word opinion and describes opinion, telling whose opinion. Her we would just label as P for a possessive case pronoun. It's just describing a noun. All right? However, there is one less likely but absolutely viable option for possessive, especially some of the possessive case pronouns. Okay? Sometimes some of the possessive case pronouns may stand alone and act like nouns, meaning they fill noun positions, like subject, predicate noun, direct object, even OP sometimes. Okay, look at the next slide, please. These are called independent possessives. Notice the word independent, okay, meaning they stand alone. All right, here is an example. Hers is a valuable opinion. Notice we have the word hers here, not her, but hers. Here, the word hers is not describing a noun and therefore acting as an adjective. Hers is what we would label as IP for independent possessive. It is indeed independent. It's not describing a noun. It's not relying on that noun for its identity as describing it as an adjective. Rather, this word is standing by itself. It's independent. It is serving as the subject of this sentence. What is a valuable opinion? Hers. All right? Final idea here for this section. The words its and his can function either way. Most of these possessive words that are on your possessive pronoun chart will either function as an adjective or as an independent possessive, but most of them will not function as possibly both. However, the words its and his can function as either just an adjective before a noun or as an independent possessive naming like a noun. Here are examples of each of these words used in both ways. As just a regular possessive adjective, the word its. Its collar is lost. Okay? Whose collar is lost? Its collar is lost. Here the word its comes before collar, the subject, and tells whose. It describes collar, therefore we would just label it with a P for possessive case pronoun. It's just an adjective. However, look at the next one. Its is the lost collar. Here the word its comes right before your verb and tells who or what is the verb. Its is. Therefore, its in this second sentence functions as the subject of your sentence. Subject of the verb is, and therefore its in this second sentence functions as an IP, independent possessive. All right, and then the final set here. The word his. His paper is the best. In this sentence, the word his functions as just a plain old possessive adjective. It comes before paper and answers the question whose about paper. Therefore, it's a possessive adjective describing the noun paper. Whose paper? His paper. However, look at this last sentence. The best paper is his. All right? Here, this word his is not acting like an adjective. It's actually renaming your subject. Paper equals his. His is an independent possessive here, functioning like your predicate noun. Okay. As a way of reminder, hopefully you have already looked at this information before you have viewed the video, but if not, here's a reminder for you. For 11th graders, on pages 229 and 230, you have in italics lists of each of the 4 types of pronouns, okay? On page 229 for 11th graders, you have the subjective and objective case pronouns. Do note that the words you and it can function as subjective or objective. So for the words you and it, I did not write this on the slide, but it is in your book, and I'm reminding you now, you must look at how it is used in the sentence. You can't just look at what chart it's on. You or it can be subjective or objective depending on how they are in the sentence. All right. And then for 11th graders on page 230, you have your possessive case and independent possessive case pronouns listed. All right. And then the reminder, of course, that its and his can be either. For 10th graders, your charts for subjective, objective, possessive, and independent possessive, or your lists, I should say, are all on page 196. All right? And again, remember, you and it can be subjective or objective, and, the words its and his can be independent possessive or just plain old possessive describing a noun. As always, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to contact me. Have a blessed day.